Hey everybody, how's it going? Today is Under the Cowl of MS podcast, where we talk whatever I feel like talking about every week. Like to go over some random things and whatever's been up happening, anything entertainment wise that I've been checking out or anything like that. I haven't really watched anything new in a while. I've been watching Australian uh, Master Chef. I think it's Master Chef Australia that I'm watching one of those cooking shows, but people got me hooked in it, so I'm watching the first season of that, first or second season. And right now on the TV, I got Real Genius for the second time in like 3 months, maybe. Classic, great movie. If you've never seen it, you should definitely check it out. Kind of catching nerd culture when they're in college and inventing stuff for the government that they don't realize is weaponry. Uh, but yeah, it's fun how they play around with it and pay people back and stuff, messing with things like that. See how my coffee is. Ooh, it's right at that verge of too hot and perfect. Uh, yeah, nothing really exciting happening. We had Milwaukee Mighty Con last weekend, this past weekend. Uh, Great turnout. I really enjoyed how I did it this year. This is the first year that I played it more sensible, not just picking up stuff to promote it and do all that stuff. I did pick up some promotional items, but most of the stuff I picked up this time was for me. So I had fun with that. Still came home with a ton of shit, but a lot less artwork and stuff that's those big prints and stuff like that. Items that take up way too much space. I was trimming trees yesterday and I keep feeling things and it's like, and they wouldn't still be on me now, but just after those couple ticks that I had on 2 days in a row. Got to check for them, especially when you're trimming the trees, 'cause they'll fall off those leaves on you. Uh, yeah, working on the yard mostly this week, getting the lawn cleaned up, getting the leaves are starting to fall, which is crazy because we're still. And we had one colder week where we hit 60s and pulled the blankets out. But now we're back up to the 80s, 70, high 70s, 80s. But most of the trees already started turning last week when we hit that cold spell. So gonna see how much of a mess that makes in the next few weeks. I'm not sure how much stuff falls off these trees, but I am trimming up everything that's coming towards my house, so that way I can uh, eliminate the squirrels from going on my roof, and then they probably sneak in through that upper vent in the attic, and they're probably the ones that have left me little presents in the attic. But I can't get up there anyways because it's just a little square hole in the ceiling that some skinny person has to climb into. But my inspector was up there and he noticed some little presents left around. And he thought maybe mice. I'm like, nah, more than likely squirrels. We like our squirrels. I know they do damage, but they're just trying to stay alive. I still got my two neighbors that are animate on taking them out, and then I found out I haven't seen any of them. But one neighbor yesterday came over while I was trimming trees, and he mentioned that there's chipmunks around. I'm like, I haven't seen no chipmunks around here. It's like you guys will really hate me if I see chipmunks because we'd go up north to Minocqua area every year, every August before school started. Those last couple weeks, we'd do a family vacation for 2 weeks with two other families. Every year we had the same cottages we got. They were right in the far corner. That way we both had our own docks. And two families stayed together, and then our family stayed in one. And anybody extra that came along could stay in our cottage. And yeah, we just basically water ski and play on the lake all day and night. And then later at night, we'd go into town and maybe go to a pizza place, us kids, and hang out, try and catch some other kids, local kids, or other people that were down on vacation. Met some fun kids back then. Also got in lots of trouble. We rented dirt bike, or not dirt bikes, mini bikes one day, and ended up going on a back road into a little subdivision and kind of tore up someone's yard. It just happened to be the chief of police's yard. Got busted for that. Used to rent jet skis, surf jets, all that stuff. Surf jet was fun. It was a surfboard with a motor on it. Hard to stand on, but we mastered it after a whole day of working on it, and you're so sore the next couple days from trying to constantly stand and then fall and back on the board, try and stand. And but once you got it down, that one was fun. I think the surf jet was more fun than the jet skis. And now the jet skis in the later days started going to all the seated ones, and all those standing ones were more fun. You could actually do more tricks, dive them, and stuff like that. But I don't know why I got on that rant. Yeah, I don't know why I got on that rant. But yeah. Other than that, I finished up the storage shed last week, so that's done. Uh, I'll get. I have everything here on our property now. So now I can just focus on going through stuff. I was going to paint the room Tuesday, but something came up. I was going to paint it yesterday. I went up there and realized that I got to vacuum all the cobwebs and everything out of there. I got to move some stuff around. There's a bunch of nails I want to take off. I want to paste plates off the electrical boxes so I can paint around them good. So I'm like, well, screw it. I'll grab that stuff, get that ready for next time I go upstairs, and instead decide to work outside, get some yard work done. Uh, but hopefully I'll get back to the painting portion of it this weekend. I don't think we have any major plans going on, so I'll probably do while the wife's around so I can get her to climb on the ladder to get a few higher up things for me. Uh, other than that, yeah, it was. We got some great things at the con, which I'll show a couple things off in a little bit. Let's start out with our most important comics of all time. See what the next one is. Oh, the last one we talked about was Marvel Comics #1, right there. But today we'll be talking about Detective Comics #27. See what they have to say. Detective Comics #27 featured the first appearance of Batman and his alter ego, Bruce Wayne, or vice versa, one of the most important cultural icons in America today. At first glance, Detective Comics #27 doesn't appear like the kind of thing that would change the world. The art, even for the time, is nothing amazing, although it does move and convey a good sense of action during the fight scenes and evokes mood well invokes mood well, especially during the first appearance of the Batman. Is it the story, then? Since it is Detective Comics, a mystery is needed, but in this case, it seems to be little more than something to hang a series of fight scenes on and show how smart the hero is at the end when he delivers up whodunit. Like, yeah, you look at the cover, it's just not really much to the cover. Looks like Batman's taking down a couple burglars or something. Doesn't look anything like any major enemy that he's dealing with or anything like that, like Two-Face or something. So this issue introduced Bruce Wayne as a young, seemingly to all appearances, lethargic Gotham socialite and friend of Commissioner Gordon. Feigning a reason to stay awake, Wayne accompanies Gordon to a crime scene where a wealthy businessman has been murdered. Soon, yet another rich businessman is killed. Batman finds the connection. Both are signed on a contract of a chemical company who benefits. Being the great sleuth that he is, Batman unravels the mystery before the police. Well, if their names are on companies and the companies are getting the money, there's obviously something going fishy with the company. Batman comes upon a confrontation of Stryker, the current owner of the chemical company, attempting to kill the final ex-partner in a scheme to get out of paying him off. A fight ensues between Batman and Stryker. Following an attempt to shoot him, Stryker falls off a landing and into a vat of acid. An early Dark Knight, instead of feeling remorse for letting some die, simply says a fitting end for his kind. Gordon tells the obviously tired Wayne, who regards it as a fairy tale, a decent story on par for comics of the day, but nothing extremely special. So the magic of Detective number 27, and the reason some people who have the means are willing to pay thousands of dollars to say they own a copy is where everyone knows it is, in the character. The Batman struck a chord in people, from the pulps, the Shadow, Doc Savage, don't forget the Gadgets, the Spider, etc. He borrowed the tradition of the costumed adventurer, and from the new success of Superman, the style and flamboyance of the superhero, he was human enough to be accessible, yet super enough to be emulated and possessing complete moral certainty, without any moral ambiguity. Over the years, the Batman has become such a cultural icon that it is as difficult to talk about him as it is to talk about myths from ages past. Too many people have too many thoughts on what Batman means or represents. It is a treatment to Bob Kane that he was able to tap so deeply a vein of the collective unconscious, and it's truly amazing how many of the original elements he incorporated survive yet today. The utility belt, Commissioner Gordon, aboard Bruce Wayne, all of them can be found in Detective number 27. The character carries elements of the pulp heroes to combine this sleuth detective into a non-powered superhero mix. Bob Kane and Bill Finger influenced the mythology of the United States as well as the world with this well-known archetype. Soon, Robin, the first teen sidekick, was introduced in Detective, and the newer Batman title prodigious rogues gallery was created for Batman. Characters now known across the country, such as the Joker, Catwoman, the Penguin, Two-Face, and the Riddler. The Silver Age saw Batman veering away from the camp, as is jumping off huge appliances and forming back the hard edge of the early days, as well as getting that crazy, well-known circle around the bat on his chest. The Silver Age Batman was more of the Dark Knight than ever before, under such greats as Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. Post-crisis, Frank Miller was called in to reinvent the Bat mythos and reinvent the old with Batman Year One. This showed the start of Bruce Wayne as a driven crime fighter, locked into his motivations with obsession and force of will carrying him along. This was a more clearly defined version of the character created some 50 years ago, a return to his grim origins. After his first appearance in Detective Comics and breaking off into the separate title, and ultimately into several, he starred in miniseries, graphic novels, and one-shots, and innumerable quest appearances. Outside of the comics world, Batman succeeded as well, appearing in blockbuster movies, TV live action, and critically acclaimed animation. Batman's impact on the mythos of the American culture has been a romance long in the running and far from over. If you do not know, this weekend is Batman Day. So get yourself out to your LCS or some type of comic shop if you can and see what is out there, what they're doing for Batman Day, what they're giving away, and stuff like that. Uh, might find some good dollar deal, 50-cent deals, who knows. Uh, I'm going to hit my closest one, which they aren't really great on overly doing too much, which surprises me because they have a second shop. They've been around forever. And their second shop is up in Appleton, and their Appleton shop is excellent. They do a great job with free comic book day and all that. They just opened up a new shop like the last year or so, and a lot more room, bigger layout, tons more stuff in their shop. So they got it really nice up there. They did move the one that's close to me to a new shop. Definitely more room, more product, nicer layout. But like I've mentioned, about 3 months ago, I bought the last 2 packs of bags and boards from them. They have not replenished them. They don't have any still. It's like, really? They keep telling me they're hard to find. It's like, go on freaking eBay or Amazon. They have them. I just picked up 400 bags and boards, 200 of two different types that I've bought before, current and my other one that I buy with the self-sealing. But they have all new packaging now. So, but I checked them out, and so far the current bags are the only ones I checked and tried so far. These are way nicer than the old current bags that were extra thick, sucked up air when you tried to close them. You try and stack them, and the comics would just go sliding off to the side because all the air that was packed in the bag would make them all wonky when you stacked them. Uh, so you had to press the air out of them and stuff. These new ones I really like. So they're thinner, they're less milliliter thick, and the flaps fold nicely over so you don't have to fight with them. I haven't tried my self-sealing ones yet. I figure I'll go through these 200. I'll probably order some more of these while I try out the other ones, but I got a lot of stuff to bag and board that I've been waiting on for months on end for probably a good year. So, because I did buy those 400 or 500 bags and boards, and those, and if you follow my show, you know that they sides rip out on them easily and stuff like that. Some of the boards are too tight for the bags and things like that. So did come up with a little trick to make it easier, but yet they still very easily, if you just attempt to peel a side on some of them, they'll rip right out. But yeah, so Batman Day this Saturday. Go check out your shops if you got one near you and see what you can get for freebies and see what kind of promotional stuff they're selling. I like to give comic book mentions out. Uh-oh. I lost my comic. Under these guys, maybe? Nope. Well, I'll be pickled jalapeno. That's not, there it is. Why would I put it underneath the ones that I still got to read? Dum dum. All right. I'm going to give my shout out this week to two comics again. We have, we seen Rich Kozlowski at the con this last weekend, so I got a few of his books signed. One is Zombies vs. Cheerleaders 2020 Geektacular. If you know the geeks, they are in here, and there's a comic shop crossover in here story with the geeks bill geeks, and ends up taking them into a zombie adventure when they're at the shop, and you end up with three different stories in this. Yeah, three different stories that all kind of flow nicely together. Uh, the first one, they make a parody, kind of. They pick on Marble Zombies. It's called Marble Zombies, featuring the three geeks. And that's story and art by Rich Kozlowski in the first one. And then the second one is Grin and Barrett by Eric Smith, Stephen L. Frank, Matt Heb, and Rich Kozlowski, and Bill Mouse. And then Mother's Mementos, which is by Stephen L. Frank, Ellie Everett, Cat Mouse, and Bill Mouse. But yeah, these are fun stories of the zombie artwork on there. You got the Rich Kozlowski. Did all these actually, I think. Yeah. Yep. Those are all done by Rich. But just the whole zombie cheerleader warrior story type lines and stuff, and people at the beginning of the zombie outbreak, how they deal with it. But I'm a sucker for the copper tone style pictures. And this is kind of, I mean, they're pulling the upper part of her suit, not the bottom part, but it's kind of got that same play to the look of it. So that's why I grabbed that one. There was a couple other ones I wish I would have grabbed, but I held off because I did pick up quite a few things from them. But then we got Archie versus Sharknado. You can imagine. I mean, it starts out with the girls off shopping, and he knows. What does that mean? Someone's got a thing for you or something? Your nose itches. This one, they're in such nice condition. I don't want to ruin them, but read them very carefully. But as you would expect, Sharknadoes. Well, the girls are out shopping. All of a sudden, a Sharknado starts up, and they're talking about the whole Sharknado thing and stuff. Veronica's dad gets munched first. Uh, it's just so much fun. Parody crossovers. They did a really good job with this one. I can't believe I didn't have it. Like, did I not hear this? What the heck? Apparently not. There we go. These bags and boards come with a little circle sticker for sealing them. I like that. I know, like, cheap comic collector hates tape and stuff, but I don't have problems with that little tab catching on my comics. But yeah, Archie versus Sharknado and the Cheerleaders versus Zombies. Great, scary story style. Not scary story. I mean, they're fun parodies of the style stories. But yeah, they did a great job with both those books. Really enjoyed them. Look forward to some more. And I'm slowly picking up the Geeksville stuff every time I go to the con. Pick up more. It is very fun. Basis storyline stuff. I got, I think, the three geek stories, the geeks, or it's just the geeks stories, and then the Geeksville stories. I picked up a few so far. Liked everyone I checked out. Most of them were con related ones that I picked up. It is because the girl's got a thing for me. I want to know who it is because my nose is itching like crazy. uh, don't tell the wife. Who knows? Maybe it's my wife that's thinking about me. Uh, since she's getting ready to leave me for a few weeks, go see family. But that's all right. We're gonna be podcasting like crazy while she's gone, and we're gonna be going through stuff like crazy while she's gone. Because that way I don't have to clean up every day. I can just leave it wherever. But yeah, uh, that was the my favorite comics of the week that I checked out. I have not been reading as much as I should. I haven't done reviews in a bit. I do have a couple comics to review, and I do have my new stack of comics that just came in last week, but I haven't really touched those. So I do need to get my butt back on them. Uh, oh, I know what it was that I was gonna talk about this week. I lost Game Pass as of 2 days ago. Uh, my three free months ran out, and not free, but I used my free Microsoft points to get the 3 month deal. So that was a good deal. It didn't cost me nothing. It's just my points that you build up if you have Bing for a search engine. You can collect like a couple hundred points a day just on your regular computer, and then you can get like 100 some extra points on your cell phone or whatever. And builds up really fast. I already have enough credits in there again after that 3 month stint with Game Pass to probably get another 3 months if I wanted to. But I pretty much played everything I cared about on Game Pass. I wanted to check stuff out to see what I'd buy if it's on sale with my Microsoft points. And they have like 3 sales going on right now, which they have games in there I'm thinking about. I enjoyed like the RoboCop game, the Dead Island 2, uh, even the power washing game. It's just mindless gameplay to do late at night when you just want to calm your brain down and before you go to bed. And yeah, it's the car mechanic one was kind of like that too. It's just mindless putting stuff together and things like that. But yeah, there's probably about a dozen games that I'd gladly pick up if I find them really cheap and I can use my uh, Microsoft points for them. Sorry about that. I'm not done, probably. Very rarely only sneeze 3 times. I used to always only sneeze 3 times, and all of a sudden took off where it's like 4 to 10 times now in my old age. But maybe this time not. Seems like I might get away with a triple banger lightning round. Uh yeah. So anyways, I had fun with Game Pass. But like I said, got bored with it by the end of halfway through the third month. Uh I think Zombie Army 4 was one I played the furthest through. Or- I was bummed about that one though because it has that sniper aspect where they do the slow motion. You see the bullet go through the body, hitting vital organs and all that. I was taking headshots like crazy, popping 2, 3 zombies at a time with one bullet and stuff. And I only had a couple times where it did that for me. So I was kind of bummed about that. Whereas the earlier versions, you get a little more of the slow motion effects when the bullets go flying through, especially multiple characters. Uh, I did like how they had spinner things you could hit, and they'd set off like electrical train track electrocution type areas. There's like a big giant, probably a good 20-foot shark, 20 to 30-foot great white shark that was dead, zombified on the dock. And when you had enough zombies out there, you hit the spinner, and that thing would just swing and crush and kill a bunch of zombies. That was cool. Stuff like that would be able to shoot at some of the higher up things. I couldn't figure out how to make them fall. I was shooting all the strings, the uh, main clamps, all that stuff. Nothing was breaking loose. So I don't know what was up with that. Otherwise, yeah, it's no games really stood out. I tried to play Call of Duty, the number 6 that just came out for Call of Duty, but by the time it got downloaded, my Game Pass expired, so I didn't get to play that one yet. But that's all right. You pretty much know how those were. But I've been checking out some movie trailers this week. Checking out what's coming out in the future. They got a Marvel Zombies 4 episode event coming out. Looking forward to that. Dust Bunny with Sigourney Weaver, kind of a Monster Hunters type movie that looked really interesting. Uh, the birthday party with William Defoe playing a evil uh, birthday boy on his own island. It looked like that looks like it could have an interesting twist to it. John Aries. I like how they have the Jeff Bridges part where it shows Jeff Bridges as a younger person and kind of has that last Starfighter feel as he's playing the game. And then stuff happens, of course. If you haven't seen the other Tron movies, then you're missing out. But I didn't think the first couple Tron movies were that great to start with, but they were events for our time at the when it was going on. There was a couple animal attack movies. One focused more on wolves with like Justin Long in it. The other one focused on a bear that was attacking everybody because they're tearing up the woods in a middle of a mountain, and the bear's like, "Hey man, this is my territory," and of course they're gonna attack. Otherwise, they're gonna get trained to put down anyways, just so they can make their little money marketing hotels or whatever they're building. Uh, there's Predator Badlands coming out, which looks very interesting because it's kind of like a young predator going on his first hunt on a planet that has a variety of different beings that they hunt or get hunted by because they're more the prey in this first movie since they're it's the young predator, but he comes across this like android chick that has no legs, and it, it looks it's got my interest after seeing the what was up with the predator and the android and all that stuff. um, Sisu Road to Revenge. uh, I got some type of chicken scratch here about Soviet era revenge, revenge my family type movie, I guess. That's what it's supposed to be like, but we'll see. Avatar Fire and Ash felt like it had three types of recording. Felt like one part of the thing was animated style visuals, and then you could clearly see what I think was like AI style visuals that caused a problem because you can just the effects of AI aren't there yet. I don't care for it to get there, but yeah, I don't want people just saying, "Well, let's make a movie this way using AI by us telling AI what we want, and it's gonna put out what we want." Nah, I don't like the look of the AI stuff. Uh, another type of like they're trying to make it more realistic, but it just did not feel realistic style imagery. Nothing like the first Avatar. Second Avatar, I never watched. I tried, made it 5 minutes, and yeah, I didn't care for the first one, so why would I give a shit about the second or third? Uh, did show Mortal Kombat 2. I hated the first Mortal Kombat movie because the characters that they put in it were characters you didn't know shit about, and it just I thought it was done terribly. I still like the first two Mortal Kombat movies way better. Uh, but this one looked good, and it's going to focus on Johnny Cage. So this one might be better. Don't know if they're using the same director and stuff. If they are, I don't expect it to be better. I expect the previews to be your best part of the whole movie. Like the first one they did was uh, 28 years later, of course, third of those zombie films. I think it's the third or fourth. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I still have yet to watch the first one because they've had better versions, in my opinion, of that style uh, movie. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I might watch them someday. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The other Percy Jackson movie I seen was actually pretty good. I just accidentally came across it one day and left it on. sucked me in. We'll see what happens with that one too. If I'll watch it, it would probably be enough like the other one where it's an accident that came across it. Peacemaker. The preview they showed almost looked like a Peacemaker movie. So I don't know if it was a preview for the series or season 2 or preview for a movie coming out, because the way they showed it in the previews was kind of interesting how it was laid out. Definitely felt like a movie coming out, which would be awesome. Primitive War. Uh, Basically, dinosaurs. Starts out with like raptors and stuff, of course, one of the worst dinosaurs you want to be around. And yeah, it's just got that Jurassic Park feel to it. Style, fight the dinosaur type movie. The Long Walk. It's a Stephen King film. Looks like Mark Hamill's got a big part in it. Uh, I don't know. I didn't get enough of what it was, but it's like you got all these younger kids walking in front of these vehicles, and apparently one will survive in the end. I don't know what they're walking for. I don't. I'm not a Stephen King reader, so I'm not a prose book reader. But yeah, it has enough potential to it from what I've seen that I would definitely check it out. But I have no concept why they're walking, what they're walking to, and why only one of them's going to survive. Makes no sense. But I'm sure there's a whole philosophy behind it. War of the Worlds. Looked okay from what I've seen, but I have not liked any War of the Worlds movie yet. I think they could have done a whole different stylization to the earlier ones and made them way better. I know some people like the Tom Cruise one. I'd have to rewatch them. Alien Earth. That series is out now. I haven't checked it out yet, but I am interested in seeing what's up with it. Haven't heard nothing really uh, promoting it in a good way yet, so not like I'm jumping on it. I still want to catch Revival one. I want to see, but we'll see what happens. I just haven't had time to sit down and watch a whole series in a while. Uh, Masters of the Universe. I mean, He-Man style stuff. I wasn't really sure. It was a weird trailer. So that'll be interesting to see what comes of that. What if it is a new He-Man style movie or what? I'm not sure. You got Gen V, which if you're a fan of the boys, you should know Gen V. Uh, but yeah, it's an offshoot of the boys series and stuff and comics, so that will be a popular one, I'm sure. The Mighty Nine, Nein, basically animated fantasy style movie. Looked interesting, but not really sure. I gotta see more of what it's about. Star Trek has a Starfleet Academy thing coming out. They've been putting out a lot of Star Trek stuff the past few years. One battle after another. It kind of shows Leonardo DiCaprio sitting on a couch, kind of like Tom Cruise and or Brad Pitt in True Romance. Not Tom Cruise. I was just talking about Tom Cruise. That's why he's not in my brain. But Brad Pitt sitting there, Leo sitting there like Brad Pitt on a couch in True Romance. It has that him kind of reminded me of that in one part of the preview, but yeah, not really sure what that movie's all about yet. And then I seen last night the wife told me that they got a new Anaconda movie coming out with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. I'm like, not interested. And then I checked out the preview, and I'm curious now. I want to check it out because basically them going into the Amazon to film a new movie. It's almost like a movie parodying the Anaconda movies, but looked interesting, worth checking out, and yeah, I I'm curious about that one now. I Jack Black's and everything. I'm just getting sick of Jack. But once I seen the preview, it sucked me in. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna start checking out movie previews because there's been tons of them out there that I did not know was coming out, and they're starting to put a bunch out again. And I want to know what I want to check out in the theater in the future. So I'm hoping for some good things coming from these. See what happens this fall. Hopefully, we'll have a couple good movies to go check out. Uh, but yeah, other than that, nothing else is really going on that I can think of. I don't see anything else that I want to show off or anything like that because I showed off everything when I did the videos after we were done with Comic Con. But yeah, I got a mess. I got to get this place cleaned up, get my room done so I can start organizing my comics. Then we'll be doing a lot of videos showing off the comics that I am going to keep. Definitely downsizing. I'm hoping that I'm going to be selling at least a quarter of my inventory, which I've already got. Yeah, a few thousand comics stacked over there that I have yet to post during a sale. So check out our Monday sales on Psychotronic Squirt Gun's channel. I think I'm starting to think that he's going to end doing them because last week it was just me and Dan. And now I heard that this week it'll just be me and Dan again on my recording, which no one really follows my channel, so it's hard to get people to come and look at the auction. At least they can watch the replay if they hear about it. So we did get a few sales off of replays this last one, so that helps. So we'll see what happens. Uh, Other than that, keep following Under the Cowl of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, give us those likes. Leave a comment. I'll comment back. Check out Crimson Cult Comic Club and check out our Monday auctions and on Psychotronic Squirt Gun's channel. On my channel these last couple weeks, next week and last week. But yeah, check those out, and we'll be back with more fun sometime soon. Always got something coming out. Talk to you later. Bye.